A few months ago, I featured a new raid farm claiming to be the fastest glitchless raid farm. For the time, it was, but now there are multiple glitchless raid farms that are magnitudes faster, created by Cow King and Chronos, both easily getting over 300,000 items per hour. The technical community have now reached a bottleneck in raid farm speeds for solo player run farms, or at least with the current village cycling setups. But what about the community who doesn't need hundreds of thousands of items per hour? Originally, that was what my first raid farm was trying to fill the void of. But now I have an updated version producing 50% more drops with the same simplicity, or I would argue even simpler to build and cheaper. I'm just gonna make this clear as a little side note. I have no intentions of saying that I am better than any of the people who designed these farms. I'm still learning about like raid farm mechanics, so if I say anything wrong in this video, please tell me. Don't hurt me too much. The problem with my old raid farm was the fact that mobs could live for a long time at the top of the farm due to there being a water stream, which they would all bump into each other and they just wouldn't go down as fast as they could. The new raid farm fixes that by shifting the floors underneath, forcing them to go down to the kill area. This is actually still a bit faster than my old design, mainly because it doesn't rely on them bumping into each other at the top, so when they're originally spawning in, you're not waiting for a Ravager to spawn to basically push them off to go into the water stream to kill. The raiders automatically get pushed down, they have a shorter lifetime, which also helps with a bit of lag efficiency. Another problem with the farm was how overly complicated the Ravager killing mechanism was. It required a ton of iron trapdoors and just was a huge pain overall if a block was missing, because sometimes you get cobblestone, the cobblestone would block off the lava. Lava would update going down into the spawning area, making all the water below that stone, and it was just a huge pain to start building. Also, with the problem with the old system was that you would always see a bunch of saddles just laying on the edge at the water streams that are on the side, which push the Ravagers up. Not all of them burn, so it wouldn't be uncommon for there to be like 70 to like 100 saddles just sitting there doing nothing. I originally added hoppers there to try and pick some of them up and dispense them because nobody really cares about them at all. But now with the new farm design, they're automatic. When the Ravagers die, the saddles get pushed onto the spawning platforms, and since the spawning platforms are shifting, they automatically go into the storage area. So if you want to keep them, you can. If not, you can just burn them with the totems because nobody really cares about totems after you have like 50 of them. Something I didn't like about the old raid farm was the fact that it used a minecart hit detector, but now there's a new hit detector shown by Cow King and is in Chronos' raid farm, which is actually on the Psycraft Blitz server. The hit detector actually uses armor stands instead of minecarts, which is really nice because armor stands are way easier to replace. But they do come with the problem where if you do double click, they do disappear, but they're not that hard to replace in the farm because it's simply pressing a button which has a dispenser which pretty much shoots out the armor stand. So it's not really something you should be dealing with too much. See, when I originally built this farm, it was meant for a multiplayer server, which it served me well, but it wasn't like good per se. Sometimes it broke. I don't know why. I think it was just because of I was running it on a spigot server. You see the problem? Yeah. Can't do much about that. Anyways, basically, this farm works well for the most part, just to show you. This is the problem you run into at the top. You can see all the saddles that are laying around, the fact that the mobs aren't coming down very fast, and all of that, because you have all these saddles here, easily reaching close to 400. I've seen 700 entities when things go really poorly. But one of the issues I ran into was getting rid of some of the saddles. I placed the hoppers down here to dispense into the fire, but things still could get stuck there. They get stuck here, all of that, and this is all causing a lot of lag because it's in tab right now. It's starting to lag quite a lot. But if I do counter white, you can see it's making a lot of things. It's making 83,000 emeralds because of how it is. If you let it run for another hour or so, it'll drop down to about 40,000 average. This is the same which I showed in my first video on this raid farm, where I said it can reach 70,000. With the new way how I have this set up, which is using this very simple T flip-flop, it makes it a bit faster, making it a bit more efficient, and meaning you can get more out of it. Now, notice how the player does not have any armor on, but it's all being ran by... The beacons actually aren't even necessary. When they fall down here, they actually have 2.5 hearts. So technically, you don't even need any of these beacons. As long as you don't take starvation damage, you are completely fine in this farm. As long as you don't AFK there while the farm ran, or your auto clicker doesn't turn off. Now, to turn off this farm, it is really stupid. It is literally just waiting for all the raids to pile in. Notice how the entity is going. The entity is at 700. That is one of the problems I ran into this farm, which is a huge problem I ran into, and I absolutely hate it for it. So they're all entity cramming. Overall counter white, we got 69,000. We got 163,000 items per hour. Notice the lag this thing caused. It was an insane amount of lag for what it is. The new raid farm will fix that. Now, with this new raid farm design that I have, I already have all the storage systems set up for it. It's not a shulker box loader, because I don't know anything about storage tech. I'm still learning it. I'm not very good at it. I have no idea how shulker box loaders work, really. It's real pain. I'm working on it right now. But for now, this is the storage system, all you need. I already have in the schematic the double speed item sorters marked out, which was shown by Il Mango. I'll leave a link to his video in the description. But I will now run this farm, show you how it works, and some of the problems I ran into and some of the defects of it, which I cannot completely figure out, but it's basically fine. Now, with this new farm design, the shifting floors are actually a huge benefit, because you see, compared to the old farm, which had hundreds of mobs stuck up here, there is very few mobs. All saddles are going down, Ravagers are being killed, very few mobs are up here now, which is really nice and very good for lag efficiency. Now, if we come down here, you can see this is where the magic happens. You can have a player sitting there. The fastest you could put it at is 11 ticks between each hit, but there's actually no point in doing that, because it wouldn't be able to keep up with the falling mechanism of the trapdoors. Now, that is the limiting factor of this farm. This is why the farm can't go much above 100,000 emeralds per hour. It is a hard limit. You cannot go past it, but if you modify it and have it based and have the player as the clock, you can get over 100,000 emeralds per hour. With this new raid farm design, there is actually 4 problems I ran into, 2 of which can actually be solved with the mod, which I would highly recommend using for this farm. One of them is a server-side mod, so you actually do have to keep that in mind. I'll show the first 2 unavoidable problems first, and I'll show you the 2 that are avoidable. The first problem is the fact that if you see right behind me right now, items will actually come into here and there's nothing you can really do about it. I don't know why or how they're able to get in, because all the mobs are killed on this side, but sometimes the items just get over here. There's not much you can do about it. And also, sometimes items will get stuck up here, but generally they'll just figure themselves out by the trapdoors pushing them around a bunch. The third problem I ran into is the fact that the amount of XP this thing drops is an insane amount and will lag your game. There's a mod called Fat XP Orbs. I highly recommend using it for this farm. If not, you will lag to hell and back. And the fourth problem I ran into is the fact that while you're actually in the killing area, you can't actually see what mobs are on the sides of the trapdoors. You can put like acacia, like for instance, you can change it with something like acacia trapdoor, warped trapdoor, oak trapdoor, jungle trapdoor. But I highly do not recommend doing that. Why? It looks better like that. This can actually be quite simply fixed simply by, like, if I go into F3 and in, click on him, all you have to do is use perspective mod, and you can actually look to see what mobs are around. It will, and also you can move your mouse around and not change your aim. So, and the best part about this farm is that since you're not the clock, you can actually swing at whatever interval you want. Just make sure not to double click or click too fast because you'll break the armor stand. Now, with this farm here, this one makes 60,000 emeralds per hour and stays at a max MSPT on my PC 35 milliseconds per tick. Now, that may seem high. Let me explain something real quick. My DRAM frequency is set at 1067 megahertz, which may seem to the normal person, hey, that's fast if you have no clue you're doing. No, that is really slow for DDR4. Why? I have no clue. I try to fix it. Max I can get it as 1500 megahertz. And then when I restart my PC, it goes back down to 1067. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm not going to try to fix it. If you guys have a way to fix it, good for you. I'm not going to fix it. I'm getting a new PC soon. Hopefully. Anyways, with this farm, it's all pretty self-explanatory. In the schematic, there will be aligners to align you inside the chunks. There will be a aligner to put you at the right Y height, and all of this, it will all come in the schematic. So don't be too worried about that. There are a few things about this farm when building it that I will show you when you're building it, how to make your life just a bit easier, but it's not really too much of a problem. Now, when building this farm, there's actually a few things. There's one main thing you have to keep in mind, and it's how to get the lava in. The lava, to get the lava in, it is actually really simple to do. So take a block that you don't really need, like netherrack for instance, place it here, place the lava down, wait for it to flow over into the holes. So when that's done there, that's done there, that's done here, that's done there, break this, lava will not update, it will not push over. You could do the same over here, simply place the blocks, lava, wait for it to fill over into here and there, break the blocks, it is finished. It is really simple to do. That's why I like building this farm. Yeah, that's all I have to say on it. It's really simple. Now, when starting up this farm, it is actually really easy to start up. All you have to do is bring over Bad Omen. So, for instance, I'm gonna spawn myself some Bad Omen. Effect, give, Bad Omen. You only need Bad Omen 1 to start the farm, but to simply start it up, all you have to do is flick this, wait for all that to start shifting, and then just hit this. The raid bar will disappear, meaning the farm is starting to work, and after a few seconds, the raids will start spawning in. Now, these aren't counted as part of a raid, so you can use the banner dudes to recycle the raids. It's really easy to start up. Ravagers will die, don't worry too much about that. You may be asking, why are these pistons here? There's no reason for there to be pistons. If pistons blocking it, nothing can spawn. Well, that's actually one of the things about this farm, which makes it a bit more safe to use. All you have to do to force stop the farm is just flick this lever. It will push this redstone block, immediately closing this, meaning nothing can spawn down there. Farm automatically turns off, and you can save yourself from a lot of lag. If you have any questions about the farm, please leave it in the comments. I'll answer as many as I can. It seems that my last video has actually gotten about 40 views in the past 7 days, which is really nice, and I hope this video does better. This project is taking me 2 months to work on. Please do like. I'm desperate. Please. I want to justify the amount of time I put into these things. But that's all I have to say about the farm. There will be a schematic for it in the description. If you have any questions, yeah, just throw them in the comments. I'll answer them. Don't worry. Bye.